Hi, I'm Joanne Yeoh, interspecies communicator and energy intuitive. It's so lovely that I'm able to do a personal recording for you, because you subscribe to my newsletter. And this video is in response to my last email to you, where I invited you to ask me 2 questions about animal communication. And it's been a lovely response. I really appreciate you replying to me. And what I've actually found is that in amongst the responses, there are actually 2 questions that all of you have in common. So I thought I'll do a little video just to kind of explain and take you through those 2 questions, those 2 very popular questions that you all seem to share about communicating with your own pets. And the first question is, what would make my pet animals happy? As in through communication. How do you know? How do you communicate, or how do they communicate with you, whether they are happy, or what are the things that they would like so that they can feel happy or happier, because we're always wanting to, increase their happiness and well-being. Now, I'm going to talk you through how to start to communicate with your pets with regards to this area. And I'm going to assume that you will be at a level whereby you're not doing this professionally. You are seeking to communicate mainly with your own animals. So this suggestion and guidance is very much based on that premise. Because when we are communicating with our own animals, it's always important to keep our energy light, to make sure that we don't have what I call heavy agenda. Our pet animals know us ever so well. So it's slightly different in a professional context. If I'm communicating with an animal, in a more of a formal consultation, the setup is slightly different. The intention is different. So this is purely for you to try out how you can start to have this connection with your own pet animals. So how can we, find out from our own pets what makes them happy and whether they're happy? Now, the simplest way to try this is to have what I call an exchange of energy. So remember, communicating with our animals is all about our intuitive senses, what you can see, intuitively, what you can hear, smell, taste, feel, sense of knowingness. So if you're new to that, if you're new to being able to tap into your intuitive senses, then I would, suggest and recommend that that's what you explore first. And I'll talk about that at the end of this recording, how you can go about that and how I can help you. So I'm going to make some assumptions. You are intuitive. You have, experience of being able to be intuitive with your connection with your animals, and hopefully the download that you had in one of the emails for the bubble visualization has helped you with that as well. So with our own pet animals and about happiness, remember, enter the communication and the connection, in a light way. So you're not seeking to try and resolve issues for them, because when you connect with them initially without agenda like that, there'll be much more of a trust, much more of an openness, so that you yourself can experience an exchange of information. And that's important to build your confidence that that communication can happen, telepathic communication, because as pet parents, we tend to be more familiar with connecting with our own pets on a very physical level, on a very emotional level, but maybe not so much energetic. Okay, so enter the communication with your own pets. I actually want to encourage you to connect with your own animals telepathically using a photograph of them and that you are away from them. This is so important because you are communicating with them very differently than you would if you were looking at them and being with them physically or touching them. Okay, so take yourself off. I always say go into your car, you know, and have their photograph. It's actually useful to have a photograph, even though you know what they look like. You know, it's all about focus. So bring up a photo of them, you know, on your mobile phone. Just sit in your car or somewhere where you have, you know, 15 to 20 minutes and just, you know, get yourself centered. So it's important to just allow yourself to connect with your own intuitive senses. Allow yourself to feel grounded. Allow yourself to trust that you can access intuitive information. So start with yourself. Okay. Then focus on the photograph with a soft focus. Okay. So you lower your eyes, lower your gaze, just focus on the breathing. And then you set the intention and you ask permission. Always, always ask for permission. Again, sometimes I find that as a pet parent, I'm just so used to just doing things with them. And, you know, I forget to ask permission. But energetically, when you're communicating with them telepathically, that's so important. So with your photograph and you're in a nice quiet place and you've connected with your own intuitive senses, say to your animal, may I have permission to connect with you? I have this wish to connect with you telepathically. And just wait and pause for a moment. Don't have any preconceived ideas of what's going to happen. I'll share this with you. You will know if you don't get permission because it just doesn't feel like you can go on. Okay, so if you get nothing, but it feels quite calm and easy, then continue. Okay, so in order to find out what helps your animals to feel happy, it's important that they understand what happiness means in your definition. That's key. So the way to do it is you start off by having an exchange and you're going to send them the emotion of happiness. So you yourself will need to bring up the energy of happiness within yourself. So think about something, again, something, you know, light that allows you to tap into the emotion of what happy means to you, or joy, or fun, you know, anything that allows you to bring up that emotion within yourself and really feel that. So you need to power up that emotion. And then imagine sending that emotion to your animal. Okay, now you can visualize that you're just passing it on to them, or you can visualize it from your heart center, you know, sending it to their heart center. But it's the emotion of what you're seeking, that information from them. So if you want to know what makes them happy, bring up the energy of happiness within yourself, send that to your animal and wait. Now, it can either be ever so quick. It depends on your animal, okay? Some animals are really quick with their answer and some will take time. This is where you have to really trust. Please do not have any preconceived ideas of what will come back, because remember, communication with our animals is about from their perspective and in that moment what they want to share with you. Now, if you suddenly get an image of a ball and you think to yourself, well, I kind of know that. I kind of know, like, my dog loves a ball. Don't dismiss it. Because animals, you know, they have to work really hard to send us information for us to understand. So if we dismiss a piece of information that they've sent us, they're gonna, you know, like, oh well, we tried to send it to her or him and they don't trust it. Then you won't get, you know, it won't be easy then for them to try and send you more information. Okay, so just trust me on this. It's all about just being open. And this is not like the only time you're going to try this. You know, do this often and you'll experience different information coming through. Remember, animals live in the moment. So now don't be surprised either if you get something that you totally think, well, that doesn't make sense to me. You might suddenly get a smell and could be fleeting, right? You might get a smell of grass, or you might get a smell of roses, or you might suddenly get a funny taste in your mouth. It might be odd to us, but it could be delicious to our animals. Or you can get a sound, okay? Or if you're very visual, you might get a visual. And just like I say, be light about it. Don't put too much onus about whether you're doing it right or wrong. Animals love us to play with communicating with them, especially our own pets, so I'd like you to really try that and just let me know how you get on. And another question that you all seem to share is, how do you know you're not making things up? How do you know you're not, whatever, like we said earlier, if you suddenly got an image of a ball and you said, well, I kind of know that about my dog, well, the more you do this, as often as you can, just jot down what you get. And in time, you'll see that it can be different. Now, initially, it may be that our pet animals need to send us something that we already know, because it's as if we need to understand what we're receiving. Because believe me, the more experienced you become in communication, you become so much more open about receiving information that doesn't make sense. But if you initially want to connect with your animals and you're exploring communicating with them telepathically, and you get information you don't understand, they know what we're like as human nature. We're just going to give up. Okay, so I'm going to keep this short because this is not like a full-on course, but I'd love you to try this with your pets. They would be so proud. Animals really need us to speak their language, and telepathy is just a wonderful way of exchanging our intuitive senses, which hold so much information. So I'd love for you to let me know how this works for you. Okay, and if you have any more questions about what I've just shared with you, please just reply to my email and let me know. Now, as mentioned at the beginning, that if you're not familiar with tapping into your intuitive senses and how to open that up, we need our intuitive senses when we come to connecting with our animals. There's no shortcut to that because that's how they work. They're instinctive, they're very intuitive. So what I'll do is I'm just going to take you through the membership program that I have. You can have free access to it till the 18th of Feb. So even if you just did the visualizations, that opens up your intuitive senses. I would just be so delighted for you to do that, because that is the foundation. Don't worry about communicating with animals and whether you can get information or not. If you jump the step, so to speak, and just want to connect with an animal and just communicate with them, it can feel a little bit hit and miss. But if you really build upon your foundation, which is to really strengthen your intuitive senses, communication with animals becomes very, very simple and very, very straightforward. Okay, so I'm just going to share the screen, and I'm just going to show you the membership here. Okay, so let me just get onto the screen. Right. So, I know you have to kind of put your details in and put your coupon code in, and then you'll get access for free until the 18th of Feb. And if you go into module 2, you've got all the visualizations about developing your intuitive senses, your visual, your sound, your smell, your taste, your emotion, your thought, your knowingness, physical sensation, and bringing all your senses together. So just to give you an example, if you wanted to really open up your sound, smell, and taste intuitive senses, you just click on that. There is a video that will take you through the explanation of it, and then you can actually do the guided visualization itself. Okay, so while I'm here, I'm also give you a quick look at the membership program itself. So this is not like a course that you do so that you become a professional communicator. It's every single bit of, I don't know, things that I've learned, tips and guidance that's really been so useful to help me become a very very confident and capable and well thought of, professional communicator. So I'm sharing it all here for you because I just love to be able to know that, if you're interested in communicating with animals at any level, all of what I share in this membership program is very, very relevant. You just take bits and pieces from it. You can go through it in the order that it's in, or you can just do it, as and when, because all the videos and content are what I call in bite size. So so in module 2, you have your intuitive senses. In module 3 is very much about whether you've got any blocks, all the things we struggle with, whether you doubt yourself. Module 4 actually gives you a chance to practice on animals, and you can actually have my guidance with that as well. Anything you submit, I will receive it and I will give you feedback about it. And then module 5, just lots and lots of videos about all the things that I've learned, all the tips, all the kind of, if you struggle with something, if you're not sure, if you doubt yourself, if you doubt the animal. And same with module 6. Look at all of the information there. It's everything that I've been through, I think, is really what I'm sharing here. And then module 7 is really for those of you who are thinking about taking it further. There's information about the difference between communicating just, informally, as I call it, and formally. Okay, so lots there. And like I say, you're very, very welcome to have access to it free until the 18th of February. And then if you want to continue with your membership, that would be fabulous. Okay, so thank you, and let me know how you get on with sharing the emotion of happiness with your pet and letting me know what comes back to you. Okay, bye for now.